Good morning, everyone. Children, boys and girls, if you didn't spot it, there is a little worksheet just on the table at the back in case you want to take a few little notes or doodle away as we spend some time thinking and hearing from God together. Breaking news. Let me tell you about a brand new technology. It is revolutionary. It transforms communication across all of society. It brings information not just to the elite, but to everyone. It enables content creators to generate things like never before and to share them with a huge audience. But there's huge fear. The sort of content that's being created, how might it lead lots of people astray? How might it influence them in harmful ways? It might corrupt all of society. People will spread fake news and false information. Any ideas? Hands up if you can guess. What is the technology I'm talking about? Rebecca? TikTok, good guess. Any other guesses? AI, good guess. You'll have to wait till next week for that. I'm talking, of course, about the Gutenberg printing press in the year 1439. A brand new technology that could make books, that you could spread ideas to the masses. What are people going to share? Fear of what is going to happen. Every few generations, a new technology comes along that changes how society works, how society thinks, how we relate to each other in a big way. The printing press, the steam engine, antibiotics, the car, the personal computer, the internet, the smartphone. And any time one of these big new technologies comes in, lots of people are very tempted to react in one of two ways. Either number one, panic. This spells the end. Doom. This new technology is what Revelation 20 is talking about. It spells the end. Do not use it. Or unthinking, complete acceptance. New is great. Old things suck. Let's all use the new thing all the time in all of our lives. Woohoo! Do you recognize a little bit of that around? Whenever new technologies come along, panic or just total blind acceptance. But more often than not, neither of these are particularly wise or thoughtful responses. Almost any technology that comes along, any new technology will have bits about it that are beautiful, that are impressive, that are creative, that are good. And at the same time, they will have bits about them that are ugly, that are horrible, that are destructive and evil, depending on how they are used, where they are used, and who is using them. So instead of thinking this morning about, well, this is good and this is bad, use this, don't use that, screen's bad, book's good, I hope this morning that the Spirit's going to help us to think a little bit about a kind of test that we might use. That as we look at how we use a different technology in our lives, in different areas, whether it is books or cars or smartphones or laptops or tablets or the Switch or whatever else, a kind of test that all of us can think about and use to decide whether the way we're using it is wise or foolish. And the test is really just to think about whether and how it's helping us to keep or encouraging us to break the greatest commandment of all. I wonder, can anyone remind us what is the greatest command? At one point when Jesus was teaching, someone came up to him and said, "What is the greatest command?" And Jesus told him. Can anyone help us out? Christopher. Well done. Jesus said, This is Matthew chapter 22 and verses 37 to 40. He said, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments." And if that is the most important command, then the most important question for any technology you're using and however you're using it has got to be, is this helping me to love God and people? Or is this getting in the way of loving God and loving people? Is this helping me love God? Or is it making me love other things more than Him? Is this helping me love other people? Or just to love myself and ignore other people? In other words, is the way we use this tech making it into a love grower or a love squasher? Children, I wonder if you can put your hands up if you ever play games on a Switch or a laptop or a tablet or a phone or a games console. Any console at all, any screen, any of you play games ever? In fact, grown-ups as well. Grown-ups. Whoa, there we go. It's like a forest in here. Okay, most of us at some point play some sort of game. Okay, now, hands down. Now, children, put your hands up again, or grown-ups. When someone tells you that it is time to get off that game, hands up if you respond by saying, "Yes, okay. Thank you for keeping watch over me and making sure I don't spend too long on this." Now, I'm not going to point fingers. One child told me last week in Jam that genuinely that is what she does. I'm going to talk to her parent afterwards and see whether it's true. On average in the UK, people check their mobile phone every 12 minutes throughout the day. It has become completely normal, hasn't it, for someone to get out their phone and check it during meal times, while watching TV with their family, while walking along with someone else there, even on the toilet. Screens everywhere, all the time. And when we find something that interests us, it is natural to get absorbed in it, isn't it? Boys and girls, I'm sure you know what it is like. You just get absorbed in it, and it seems particularly easy when it comes to screens, that they hook us in, and they get between us and other people. There's an irony, isn't there? A lot of technology that links us more closely to people far away blocks out all the people who are closest. It might be just reading a story. It might be doing the crossword. It might be playing Fortnite or Tears of the Kingdom or Pokemon. It might be checking up on the news on your favourite sports team, even if it's Derby and you just got promotion. Woo! It might be scrolling through social media. We get hooked into them, and the people around us become incredibly annoying. They become annoying intrusions into the thing that I'm hooked in. Sound familiar? You get things like, people saying things like, "Can't you see I'm just doing something? You're getting in the way, don't touch the screen. Mum, I'm just replying to someone, so yes, dinner can wait, actually." Echoes from many households. All too easily, enjoying something good becomes being absorbed by that thing, and our heart begins to resent the people around us. And if something has to go, we want it to be them. And that includes God. A friend of mine shared this week, she does babysitting sometimes, and she was babysitting for a Year 5 girl in her church. And they read the Bible before bedtime, so they got their Bibles out, and she said, shall we just talk to God? Let's just thank him that he speaks to us in the Bible. Let's thank him for that before we hear what he has to say. And so they closed their eyes, and they put their hands together, and the girl said, "Alexa, Even praying to God, reaching out to a higher power, the most natural thing for her had become saying, Alexa. But more than that, there's always tech buzzing around. We saw that in our introduction, didn't we? There's always noises. There's things grabbing us. And it gets really hard to listen to God and to speak to him, doesn't it? As long as there's a notification pinging, or a TV glowing, or a tablet tapping, or a games console whirring, or a radio muttering away, there's often just not enough brain space for us to give God our full and undivided attention, to hear from him, and to pour out our hearts back to him. We've been really, really blessed in the last few houses we've been in to have a good garden space behind our house. Just a bit of grass, a few flowers, just a nice space. And I did find it genuinely amazing a year or two ago that when I went out in the garden, I found it 100 times easier to talk to God. If you find it hard to talk to God, go outside. Leave your phone inside. Go outside. Because when it's just you and the sky and some birds, it's amazing how much easier it is. I genuinely found it quite hard not to talk to God. There was no one else to talk to. Who else am I going to talk to? It becomes hard not to talk to God. We all need to think, is the way that we use our tech love growing or love squashing? And if it's squashing love for God and it's squashing out other people as well, then we are being unwise with the way we're using it. And we need to change it. Maybe it means resolving to accept a few more interruptions when you're reading that book, not yelling at people that you just want to finish the chapter. Maybe it means inviting a brother or sister to play a game with you instead of ignoring them. Maybe it means making a no mobile phones at the dinner table rule, even for grown-ups. Setting time limits on devices, only using screens after you've chatted to the family, even finding a completely new hobby. If your tech is squashing love, then you need to do whatever it takes to make room for love again. Now, I want to have us to have a quick go at thinking this through, okay? I need to get your brains whirring. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to put up 3 scenarios on the screen, and I want you guys to think about one of them. So you can do it by yourself if you like, or pick a person next to you or the people around you. I want you to pick one of the scenarios that goes on the screen, and I want you to try and apply this rule. Is it helping me to love God? Is it growing my love of God and people? Or could it be squashing my love of God and people? Just choose one of them and take a couple of minutes to think through what ways could this be growing love for God and people, and what ways could this be squashing love for God and people? Apologies if the text is quite small. It's one of the problems with technology. So, situation 1, let me tell you, this is the person on your left. Mary has been addicted, not addicted, I've skewed your feelings now. Mary has been added to a WhatsApp group with people from her school. It is mostly people sharing jokes and banter, but increasingly people are posting unhelpful and inappropriate things, including pictures and gossip about other pupils. Now, Mary tries to post good and positive and encouraging stuff on this group, not least because she's the only Christian in her whole friendship group. But it just feels a bit awkward. And recently she finds some of the content really tempting. So she started looking at other unhelpful stuff. And it makes her feel distant from God. Leaving the group will really distance her from this group of friends. She won't have anywhere near as many opportunities or be as into that friendship group. But staying will be really hard. Mary and using WhatsApp. How might that give her opportunities to grow in love for God and people? How might it be squashing it? Situation 2, the one in the middle. Kerry has a busy job and she's often really tired at the end of the day. Whenever there's a quiet moment, she opens up Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and she scrolls through all of her feeds. It feels easier than going out and actually meeting with people, which she finds really tiring. She loves that she can keep in touch with friends from school days, but she doesn't really know how many of them would count her as a good friend. She's really envious of their exciting-looking lives, and it just makes her feel more and more disappointed with her own life. It's keeping her in touch, but it's making life hard. How might it be helping her grow? How might it be squashing love? And finally, situation 3 on your right. Jerry loves playing video games. He gets home from school, the headset goes on, and he dives into the fun and frenzy with his mates from school. School is tiring, and he feels like it helps him to unwind. Plus, he doesn't want to miss out on good fun with friends. However, he is more and more frustrated these days when his dad tries to talk to him. And he started getting quite angry when his mum just says that dinner's ready. Situation 3. How might the way of using technology be helping to grow love? How might it be causing a squashing of love for God and for the people around them? Choose one of the situations. Have a little chat with the people next to you. See what you can come up with. A minute or two together. Do sit if you were standing. Now, we have just been thinking this morning about how we use technology wisely. But one assumption in all of this is that we are the ones using technology. We are the masters. We are in control. We are using it with our thumbs, twiddling our fingers and telling it what to do. Tech is just a tool, and we are the ones wielding it. Except just before we finish, I think it's worth noting one maybe slightly more hidden feature of tech that it is good for us to be wise to. We won't go into the context of it at the moment, but Paul wrote a letter to the Corinthian church, and in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, he's writing to a church who've heard about Jesus' grace, his forgiveness, and gone, well, that means we can do whatever we like. They had come up with almost a sort of motto as a church, which was, I have the right to do anything. It's very modern, isn't it? I have the right to do anything. But Paul writes to them, and in 1 Corinthians 6, verse 12, he says this, I have the right to do anything, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything. Children, have you got your worksheet? That's one of the answers. Forgiven, so let's do whatever we like. But Paul says, yes, but you might be free, but you must not be mastered by things that are not beneficial, things that are not good for you. So, of course, there is no law against Christians using a smartphone. It's not a bad thing. We have the right to use smartphones. That's fine. But if it's starting to cause a harmful effect to us or the people around us, then it's not fine anymore. It's not good. There's no law against us using social media. I don't think we need to start saying to each other, you shouldn't be on name social media. We're free to use it, but if it begins to master us, if it begins to take control of us and change the way we're living in a way that's not good, then we need to move away from it, and we need to move away from it quickly. There are lots of things that we are free to do as Christians, but by using them in certain ways, we can easily stop being the master of them and start being mastered by them. But wait a minute, I'm a smart 21st century kind of a person. I'm not some armpit-scratching cave dweller. I'm not enslaved by my TV or my phone. They don't tell me what to do, I tell them what to do. There's a well-known saying in the world of tech, and it goes like this. If you are not paying for a product, then you are the product. If you're not paying for the product, then you are the product. I wonder if you've ever thought about what's happening when you, for example, watch videos online. A great big company has decided to just give you loads of stuff for free. It's amazing, isn't it? It's so generous of them. Wait a minute. Something's not right here. Because here's what's happening. The truth is, lots of companies are paying the great big company lots and lots of real money for advertising space. They're paying the big company money for something, and that something is you. You're not actually the customer in that setup. Usually, if you go into a shop, boys and girls, you go in and you pay money and you get something, an apple or a chocolate bar or something else. When it comes to this sort of stuff on the internet and with apps, you're not the person coming in and paying money and getting something. You are the thing that someone is paying money for. And it works. And we keep coming. So they keep paying more money for us. The great big companies are not paid for you to be entertained and to have a good life balance. They are paid to hook you in and to get you to watch more and more and more and more. And then some more. And then just a bit more. And then some more. Boys and girls and grown-ups, when you're watching insert name of video provider here, I don't want to get this video cancelled, on some video content provider, and your parent or your alarm clock tells you it's time to stop, and you find yourself saying, just one more. That's not coincidence. That is what it has been designed to do to you. It has been designed to make you want, to make you need just one more. We're not fishermen going out and hooking one nice video to watch. We're the fish being hooked, and we can't get away. So when your parent or your alarm clock tells you you've had enough, they are not squishing you. They are helping to try and take you off the hook. I have the right to do anything, says Paul, but I will not be mastered by anything. And it's the same with video games. Maybe it's just Candy Crush on your phone. Maybe it's Call of Duty on the Xbox or whatever you play it on. They are designed specifically to make you feel, if I could just get that one more thing, then I'll be happy and then I'll turn it off. If I could just get that one special item, if I could just complete that one level and get a high score, if I could just defeat that one huge monster, then I would be happy and then I could turn it off. But then you get that one item and you realize you need just one quick go trying it out. You can't get it and then not use it. So just one more go and, oh my goodness, I didn't realize it now means I can access a whole new area of the game. I couldn't get there before. Just one more minute, I need to check this out. Wait a minute, there's a new boss in this area of the game. Just one go, just one more, just one more, just one more, just one more. Does it feel familiar, boys and girls? Yeah. And grown-ups? When we reach that point, we are not using technology. We are not controlling it. Technology has started at that point to use us. I have the right to do anything, says Paul, but I will not be mastered by anything. Maybe for you it's social media use. Maybe it's online discussion forums, even the hardware itself. I know my phone works, but if I could just get the upgrade, just one more upgrade, it's just got one more feature, just one more. Apps and games and devices designed to hook you in and to make you want just one more. If you want to learn more about this sort of pattern, I would really recommend, particularly this pattern for social media, if you've got Netflix, there's a fascinating and slightly terrifying documentary called The Social Dilemma. I would highly recommend it. It is insightful and it will make you slightly poo yourself with fear. Or if you want a really helpful book to think through how to use technology wisely, there's a book called My TechWise Life, or The TechWise Family by Amy and Andy Crouch. They would be a great buy if you want to think a little bit more about this for yourself. Now, just as we finish, it might sound like I really am hitting the panic button. Maybe you've just listened to the last 5 minutes and you're going, okay, well, you told us not to panic, but now I'm panicking. Look, I really don't intend to. YouTube and TikTok and all sorts of other things have millions of hours of God-glorifying content. We use tech in so many areas of our life. We like to think things like books aren't tech. They are technology. There was a point where that was brand new. A car, it is technology. We use technology all across the book. There are terrific podcasts that you can find. There are Bibles on an app every morning or online. We use our phones to call friends far away and to encourage them in their walk in the Lord, to lift them up when they need help. We use them for research. We make beautiful creative arts using tech. We play genuinely fun games that bond us together. That's fine. That's good. We can use tech in lots of different areas of life in a way that glorifies God and loves other people and builds us up. Hallelujah. He's made us creative and we've created, and there's great stuff out there. But let us just allow the Spirit-breathed words that Paul gives us here to nudge, to prod, to make us feel a little bit uncomfortable as we go back home, as we turn the power button back on without thinking about it. Hear these words from Paul and just think carefully about whether you are using tech to the glory of God or whether it might just be using you. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything. Julie's going to lead us now in prayer.